Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's really appropriate to be holding this hearing. For those of you who live on the East Coast, welcome to our air in the West. This is common. I don't remember a summer in Boise when we haven't had smoke. Sometimes it's much worse than others. We've had some summers that were really catastrophic in this regard, but this is what we live with. I mean, this is just the way it is. So for me, from that standpoint, this is an important hearing. It's an important issue. On a personal note, my undergrad was in forestry, specifically forest management. Probably not many in Congress have actually worked on a fire line, but I have a number of times. In addition to that, we had some catastrophic fires when I was governor that we had to deal with. And so this is an issue that, and of course, Boise's home to the National Interagency Fire Center. So if you get a fire, you're going to get a visit from some Idahoans to try to help you put it out. So this is really important. Look, for years, we have focused on putting out fires, and we were very, very successful at it. And by being successful at it, we've caused the problem that we've got, and that is the West particularly burns every year. It's part of the natural process. But if it doesn't burn, because we put the fires out, we control the fires, then what you get is catastrophic fires. Okay, so we understand that. Now you got to manage it, and that is you got to remove fuel, or you've got to handle it in such a way that fuel is in places where, if it's in a wilderness or something like that, that they can let it burn. But we've got to stop wasting limited agency resources to needlessly redo and relitigate projects that have already undergone extensive environmental and public processes. Senator Daines and I have worked for quite some time to get the Cottonwood fix passed. I was glad to see it passed again through our committee, but now it's time to get the thing across the finish line. We also need to make significant headway with fuels reduction projects. It's good to hear that the agencies are putting together plans, but without additional consistent work, we will continue to feed the flames. I recently introduced the Fire Sheds Act with Ranking Member Barrasso and Senators Daines and Crapo to address landscapes at extreme high risk of catastrophic fire. My bill will allow states to work closely with federal agencies across the boundaries to conduct management projects on fire sheds, which constitute the highest risk to communities, wildlife, and quality management. These projects will cut through red tape while instituting a proactive, responsible, collaborative process. Now, I think what people need to understand is these things, every landscape is different. Every acre is different, and they all need a different attention. We're next to my friends in Colorado who have a roadless rule. We in Idaho have a roadless rule. I wrote it when I was governor. And one of the things that we really focused on in there was we have a lot of backcountry communities, small towns. And so we really concentrate on removing fuel in a circle around those towns, and it's been very successful. There's been at least one dramatic save of an entire community because they did fuel removal. So these are all things that we can focus on. We're getting a lot better at it. We're getting smarter at it. My state is home to probably the most famous forest fire ever, the Big Burn back in 1910. I wasn't there. My kids think I was. But we learned a lot of lessons from that, not the least of which was that we had been so successful in fire suppression that we just thought if you just suppress the fires that's the end of it. That is not the end of it. The fuel's going to go. It's either got to be burned out or it's got to be removed, and that's the way we got to approach these things.